Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Lance, here with my other host, Matt. Every episode, we like to introduce what we are drinking on the side, and today I made a pit stop to our one of our local breweries, Badger State Brewery.
Because, we're in Wisconsin, and there's got to be more than one in our town of 100,000 people.
Yeah, we have two of them that I know for sure that I really like going to. And this is the closest one to me, so I went and stopped by.
I guess, what's the other one?
It's right across from Titletown.
Hinterland? No. Titletown Brewery?
I think that's another one.
Yeah, there's Titletown Brewery.
And literally right across the street is another one.
Hinterland.
Is Hinterland Green Bay?
Yeah. I mean, it's at Schwabenau, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's another one on the west side of Green Bay.
So Hinterland is the one right across the stadium.
Oh, geez. Yeah, duh. And then Copper State. That's the one I'm thinking.
Oh, Copper State. Yeah. And then there's also...
Okay, yeah, so there's four of them right here in Green Bay that we just rattled off.
Well, there's also the one in De Pere. I think it's called Cocoon or... No, not Cocoon.
Yep, Cocoon Brewery.
Yep, Cocoon.
Yep.
And so, that's five in our tiny town. Well, I wouldn't call it tiny, but our average size town.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a couple more.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee you there's some more that we're not even thinking of off the top of my head because we're thinking about this for 5 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went to Badger State Brewery and picked up one of their limited releases. They call it Whiskey Business. And I'm going to be drinking their Imperial Stout version of it. And this Imperial Stout is aged in a Weller, Buffalo Trace, and Haven Hill bourbon barrel. And on the side, I will be drinking some Green River Wheated Bourbon. Well, Matt, what are you drinking?
I am also drinking one of the Whiskey Business. It is a Dubai chocolate bar, barrel aged in Weller, Buffalo Trace, and Haven Hill bourbon. I've never had Dubai chocolate. I guess I can knock that off of my checklist of things. Did not know I needed it on my checklist of things, but it's there. It's now off of the list.
Yeah, I guess to a degree. I've never had Dubai chocolate by itself.
No, it was all the rage this summer. I guess it's still kind of all the rage, but
maybe.
I don't know. Yes, words. And then the other thing I'm drinking is the Timekeeper's Bourbon Straight Whiskey. I'm almost done with this bottle, so it's going to go in my infinity bottle because I just started that.
Mm-hmm. Everyone should start an infinity bottle.
It is a clever idea. You can get just a empty bottle for cheap and then just put a bunch of whiskey in it or a bunch of whatever you like to drink. Stick to one thing and go from there.
Yeah.
So Lance came up with a fantastic idea of a new way to spice this up a little bit. And if you want to see how we decided who was going to read the synopsis today, go check out our socials, especially TikTok, because I know it's already on there. And you can see how we decided who was going to read the synopsis. Unfortunately, to spoil some things, because obviously you're not going to go check it out first, it is me who is going to be reading the synopsis today. And I am going to be pulling it straight from Google. And it says, the story follows the Demon King Clevatess, who, after being attacked by heroes, decides to raise a royal human baby to determine if humanity is worth saving.
Yep, nice and perfect.
Yeah, if you have not seen it, that tells you everything you need to know about the season. And if you have seen it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that says everything I need to know about the season. So it's definitely a good one. I liked it. There's been some other ones that I was looking up, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Lance, I am curious. What do you have for Lance's lessons today?
Today's Lance's Lessons is going to be the Japanese word for darkness. And darkness is kuroyami. Kuroyami is spelled Kuryami. And kuroyami is relevant to today's episode because we are covering a bunch of dark beasts, and Clevatess is one of those main dark beasts. So we're going to go with darkness.
I like it.
And for a little bit of breakdown, we were curious about the breakdown of Kura and Yami. I think most of us know that Yami means darkness, so we were curious about Kura. So we looked into Kura, and Kura basically means like a storehouse or a warehouse. So we were basically coming to the conclusion that Kurayami is like the storage of darkness, like the main darkness.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. It covers everything, or it's a philosophical version of what storehouse means.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna go with that one. And with some Japanese lessons out of the way, Matt likes to read the manga for every episode that we cover. So were there any differences between the anime and the manga? NANI?
Yeah, there were some. We'll put it that way. There's, for anybody that is curious, 24 chapters. That's all this was. Most of the chapters were a little bit longer. We're talking 35 to probably like 60 pages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So a little bit longer. When it comes to the anime, the anime adaptation of this manga, almost everything you see in the manga, you're going to see in the anime. Obviously, there's going to be some moments that are more elongated, like the fight between Alicia's father and, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. What turns into be the bad guy. Drell. Yes, sorry. And obviously that fight is elongated. Basically every Alicia fight is elongated when she's in the ocean, or not in the ocean, in the mine, that her like sinking is elongated, all that stuff. Anything that has the opportunity to be elongated without actually getting, or without changing anything, it does happen. As far as some of the changes that do happen, the manga actually starts with the 13 heroes in the cave. So that's one of the big differences, is you don't see them like traveling towards Clevatess.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's literally like they're in the cave. All right, let's get ready to attack them. That's how it starts.
Huh.
Which, I'll be honest, is probably a more entertaining start.
Sure.
Versus reading like, I don't know, 20 or probably like 5 to 10 pages worth of dialogue, sitting on a chariot and going to attack somebody. That's really boring. Like, let's be honest, that's pretty boring.
Oh, sure. Yeah, especially if all of them are going to die anyway.
Yeah, that is very true. So that is that's probably the biggest change. Another change is that right after the fight between Clevatess and the 13 heroes, that is when they go into Alicia's backstory. And then she kind of wakes up and starts to agree to work with Clen. I think I missed this, or I might have missed this. Clen used bugs to clean off Luna to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that. It's definitely very short. I was like, did I actually miss that? But
yeah, I very specifically remember that, because I was like, those bugs are going to eat that baby. And then Clen makes the very obvious statement of, they don't eat flesh. They're just going to eat your excrements.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Now I do remember that. Thank you. So when Alicia cuts the rope bridge down, and she's literally just laying there in a pool of blood and everything, Clen is in like a tiny dog version of himself, not just the head.
Oh, not just the head?
Not just the head. Like it's just a whole tiny dog. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It would have been really funny to see.
I'm interested that you said dog, because I assumed it was like some little dragon head.
Yeah. He looked kind of like a evil little chihuahua looking thing.
Okay.
Or like more like a Pomeranian than a chihuahua. But yeah. Just kind of a fluffy mean dog.
Okay. I'd like to see more of that.
I might be able to get a picture for you. This is something that is definitely not needed when it comes to the anime, but when she escapes the devilfish, like the ancient beast in the cave or in the mine, it chews on her stomach, so her whole stomach gets like ripped up.
Oh. Yeah. I don't think she got like seriously attacked at all in the anime.
No, she didn't. She really didn't. Nothing happened. Yeah, right. No, she got like her stomach was slit open.
Interesting. Okay, that would have been a little bit nicer to see.
Yeah. Then the last thing I have, it's only been 2 years since Alicia's father died, so she spent 2 years basically training.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, they don't talk about any sort of timeline.
Whoa, I assumed this was when she was still pretty young.
I mean, she was. So she's probably like 15 at this point.
I guess. I mean, typical anime.
Yeah, seriously.
Interesting. Okay.
And then the very last thing for anybody that really loved Clevatess and can't wait for season 2. Season 1 ends on chapter 24. Like, it's a very clean, even break. The end of chapter 24 is when Clen talks about how he wants to learn magic, be the apprentice of magic, like something along the lines of wanting to do with magic.
Right.
And yeah, that's literally the end of chapter 24. For anybody that is curious, there are currently 59 chapters available.
Ooh. And is it still ongoing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So at this rate, we can expect 3 seasons?
Probably. Let me double check and make sure that it is. Yeah, it's ongoing. I don't know how often they release chapters, but yes, it is.
Okay, that's good to know.
And then yeah, that's everything. That's all I got.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, so Lance, like here, I'm showing Lance the very first page when it comes to Clevatess. So like literally a dead like snake beast, and then they're in the opening of they're at the end of the cave.
Yeah, just like that.
Page 1 and 2. So
you read the whole thing colored?
No.
Oh, you just so happen to pull up a colored picture?
No, that's how it started. That is how it starts.
Oh, it's just how it starts?
Yeah.
Pulls you in with nice colors and then goes right back to black and white.
Yeah. Like even the entire fight between Clevatess and the 13 heroes, you see none of it. It's literally just Alicia injuring his horn, and that's it. Like
you don't see like everyone else getting like stabbed and pulled away?
No, pretty much everybody's fucked within the first within like the second page.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I like that the anime at least showed everyone dying.
So yeah, here's like them. All right, let's get ready to attack everybody. And then next page is everybody on the ground.
Jeez. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I'm glad the anime actually showed a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it would be pretty miserable to see them go to attack and then it like skip to Alicia on the ground with her leg all fucked up and like just bleeding out her body. Yeah, that'd be a terrible time. Like nobody would like that. Yeah, I guess since I was the one that recommended this, I know you had it on your wish list, or not your wish list, but your watch list. You had been meaning to watch this. I guess, did you start it beforehand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a while back when we were discussing what we're watching on the side, like in last season's stuff, you had recommended this show to me like 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
And I finally got around to it, and I binged it all in one day.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely, appreciated the show right away.
I mean, this is very much up your alley. It's very gory. The plot is good, but it's not like super, super deep.
Right.
Like it's a very easy just, all right, I'm going to get into it. I don't have to think too much. Here it is. Here's a bunch of blood and good fights. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing too in depth to go about. Like this is just a great basic anime with a couple twists and turns.
Yep.
A little bit difference here and there, and everything just kind of works.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you rate this? And then the other question is, would this be on your recommendation list?
I'll start with the recommendation. Definitely recommend this to anybody who's into like shonen fantasy kind of stuff.
Okay.
It was just fun to watch everything. As far as like a rating goes, I was thoroughly entertained. I wanted to know what was going to happen next, and I am interested in what happens in season 2.
Okay. So
I'm a nice guy, and I usually rate things a little higher than they probably are worth, but I'd say this is probably a solid 8 for me.
Okay. That's very nice.
What about you? How are you feeling?
I will say this is definitely if somebody that is an anime watcher is looking for something that's kind of not really talked about as much, 100% this is going to be one of those where it's like, hey, if you haven't watched this one, give this one a try. As far as my rating's concerned, it's like a 7. It's decent. The second watch through is kind of rough. Like all the shock value of the first watch through, all the like suspenseful stuff, and then all of the like surprise things that happen wasn't there. And it is kind of what helps bring the series along. Like when Darrell turns into like the fake dragon looking thing, super crazy the first time through. no impact the second time through.
Yeah.
And so just stuff like that, where you know Alicia's like even the super fucked up thing where she like cuts the rope bridge and lands on her face. Super fucked the first time. You're like, God damn, that was rough. Second time, yep, she does that. So that's.
I'd agree with that. But there is one moment that I'll pull that I would like to say, like, even on my rewatch, I was still just as emotionally invested.
Okay.
And if we want to talk about favorite characters, now we'll talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Nell. I'm going to choose Nell as my favorite character.
Okay. And Nell, for anybody that doesn't remember, is essentially the wet nurse that turns into the helper / superhuman.
Yeah. She's the one that gets the, I don't want to say ogre.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like an ogre.
Troll.
It
was a troll.
Yeah, it's basically an ogre.
Yeah, basically. So she gets the troll powers.
Yes.
Troll strength, at least.
Yep.
But connect the two, on my rewatch, when Nell was talking about how she like lost her babies and how she was growing up and watching her mom take beatings, and like that toothless accent that she was having, explaining everything and how sad she was and like how accepting she was of everything and just the way her life is. Even on the rewatch, I was like, damn, this is still like really tough. So like I appreciated that much out of her. And then just to add to why I'm going to choose her as my favorite character is she's just super loyal, super strong. Well, it's really nice that she's really strong.
Yep.
She's always cheerful despite how shitty her life has been and stuff that she has yet to even know. She doesn't even know what's going to happen in the near future. And she's just happy to be along. She's so happy to be alive and working for Clevatess and following Alicia and stuff like that. So I'm really happy to follow Nell / Nellaroo and see what comes from her.
Okay. I will give you that one. She is a good character. I will say the voice actor that went through her like toothless side was super great, because it's like, okay, yeah, no, I can believe that this person doesn't have teeth and gets beat up all the time. So whoever did her did a definitely justice on the character.
Yeah, I gave her like a weird lisp, and it worked. What about you? You got a favorite character?
Man, I'm going to go with Alicia. That's actually no, I lie. I'm going with Clen / Clevatess. I think just the abilities he has, the zero fucks given, the kind of character growth that he does have when Alicia calls him out, and when he's like, you know what, fuck this. Why the hell do I care about any of this? And she's like, look at
Luna's eyes. Yeah,
look into Luna's eyes. What color are Luna's eyes? I thought that was really good. And basically calling Clen out on the lack of fucks that he supposedly had. I like the fact that, you know, he's interesting in the fact that he wants to know why the world is the way it is, and he is honest about everything, because like the whole history of men that Darrell talks about, and he's like, oh, that had to have been before I came around. So what are these people? What are these creatures like? And also my favorite quote came from Clen, which I was going to save it for later, but I'm just going to talk about it now. So he talks about birth and destiny are irrelevant. It was meaningless from the start. The world is gray. So talking about like, that's when he is in the furnace, and talking about Luna's basically blood is what makes Luna. And he's like, no, that's not how this works. And so I really like that quote.
Okay. Yeah. The Forge was an interesting centerpiece for like literally everything, at least of this species of humans, we can say. I guess let's talk about the furnace, because I guess that really is a big focal point of really Luna's whole existence and the surprising ending of the Headless King that Clevatess decapitated in episode 1.
Yeah, I'm actually super interested in the Forge because the Book of Toa came out of the Forge. What the fuck is it?
Right. That's going to be the biggest question to really drive into the next season or two, is what the Book of Toa is going to be all about, because Clen has the Book of Toa and a key, but they don't go together. Which is just a really fun, way to throw into a story, especially if if this was D&D, it'd be really, or like a video game, it'd be fun to like figure this goddamn mystery out. Yes.
Well, obviously that means there's got to be a second book. It's a set.
Right.
I guess it could be more than a set, but it has to be at least, I would imagine that there's a second book somewhere, because the key was attached to the book, but didn't work on that book.
Right.
So I would imagine in a series of events, it would unlock the next book and the next book and the next book. And eventually the one book would unlock the Book of Toa.
So you wouldn't imagine that like we got a book and key, we're going to find another book and key, and those will just like crisscross? You think those will be a line of events where we'll keep getting books, we'll keep getting keys, and they'll just open up randomly?
I mean, not kind of randomly. I think it's a series of books that go together, and you need the previous book to open the next one, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. It's just there's so many directions that they can go with this. Because they could even be like, this key can open up some kind of door in some kind of like cave, and then that's going to make you go through a labyrinth, and then at the end of the labyrinth you fight a boss, and then that boss
drops the key,
a key or something.
That'd be weird.
It would be. I would not expect that out of this show, especially out of what I expect to happen next, as in season 2.
Yeah, just because of he's learning magic next.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that. Yeah, I mean, it was a random guess, but that's how I feel, is that it's correlated together somehow, and how is it correlated is going to be the question, because he's going to learn magic. And is the book going to open like another, like you said, it could open up another secret, like a secret cave or something, but then
maybe going a little bit off of what you're saying, after he continues to learn about humans magic, maybe he's got to modify this key to like a stage 2 version of this key that will allow it to open up. That's just one more possibility that's crossing my mind.
Or he's got to make magic. He's got to make a magic key, or he has to forge a key.
Right.
Which, I mean, if it was a forge, so do you have to make that special metal? Do you have to make a metal key?
Oh, you know what? I was about to say, I think this forge is supposed to strictly be for burning one of the
the forge
hidens.
Yeah,
one of the hidens. But then, no, obviously it's a forge because he's forging those special swords.
Yeah, they're making those special swords, the special weapons, not the swords itself. But
there's a spear, there's an axe. It's not necessarily swords.
Yeah, they call them heroes' weapons. Let's see, what is the weapon itself called?
Oh, the magic stones that are out by Clevatess?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write down that word, but something a knight. Magic knight.
Mithril knight?
Is it Mithril knight? I believe it.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, it's a fox. He's a fox demon. So, yes.
Clevatess is a fox demon?
That's what it says. Well, he appears like a fox demon, which makes sense.
I guess I would have more assumed like a wolf, but...
Yeah. But foxes are conniving and... I don't want to call Two-Face, but mask-like. So I guess that makes sense. That it just kind of fits in with the personality of what people, or at least in Japanese lore, what a fox is.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. Which would definitely describe his like mannerisms, about like, not necessarily that he's monotone in most of his stuff, but like he's super serious, super strategic about everything. And he's always thinking about, I don't know, ways to like make something work. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yes, that's, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think it's mithril.
Mithril? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyways.
But either way, these stones and the forge, which is just going to open up a whole new can of worms for what we can possibly do in the future. Because if we want to start thinking about what's going to happen in the future with Clen being so close to the baby king, and his whole hometown has all of these stones, he can easily just go grab some whenever he wants, and he can make any weapon that he sees fit, as strong or whatever.
But let's be honest, he doesn't need the weapons. his main goal is to manipulate the kingdom so that he can run and kind of dictate humanity from the shadows.
Right. But the weapons themselves can, just be another tool to do so.
Yes, that's fair.
To separate this race from the other 4. Because I think there's 5 races, right? Something like that.
I think so. 6? I'm counting 6.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Haydn, Eslin, which Eslin is the people that helped the Haydns. So they're the group of people with the the ice lance guy. Borhat, which is the kingdom that actually attacked. Then you have Orgs, Slada, and Bent. I think
Bento.
Bento, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought Bento was a funny race because I just think of bento boxes.
Yes. And then Orgs are exactly what they sound like.
Okay. Definitely hope to learn a little bit more out of them in the future because these are just names that are randomly thrown out there. Especially with Clen having a horn, which might resemble another race, but we found out through that blonde-haired chick that Clen's way too pale to have that horn in that species. So I'd like to see more of that.
He said he took the appearance of the woman that gave him Luna. Is that what it was? And then the horn. But nobody questions the horn, so that's the...
Right. It was just that blonde-haired lady, that Carme, who made that comment that he's too pale to be from that race. So I wonder if more people might question where he comes from or anything like that and start making things difficult.
Maybe. I feel like it's not... It's probably going to happen in the next... Actually, I don't think so. I have a feeling that's not going to be brought up again just because he is essentially going to be learning magic with the next king of a country, so nobody's going to question anything.
Right. Do you think Carme is dead? I don't...
So Carme is the... I guess you could... So it's the blonde slave from the Ravens.
Right. And she was running that pub and giving Nell all the support. And she had a conversation with Clen before they departed or whatever. It gave me an impression that she might have been killed for whatever reason. I don't want to think so, but I also feel like it could have gone either way. Do you think she's going to just be forgotten in season 1 and we're never going to see her again?
I think so. She's a smooth talker, so she can get herself out of any sort of situation that she's in. Because obviously, even in the shitty situation with Black Ravens or whatever they were, she didn't have a great life, but it's not like it seemed like she was getting passed around or any of that other stuff. She was just essentially a barmaid.
Yeah, right.
So, when it comes to the situation, she wasn't living a bad life. Because obviously, if you look at Nell, she was just getting attacked every day and all that other stuff. So
yeah, right. Yeah, she felt it came across that she understood her place and she knew how to work around the dudes, the shitty dudes.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's alive, but I don't think we're gonna see her again.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I really want to get into the Dark Beasts because we've met technically 3 of them. Obviously, Clevatess we've met. We've met the bird/wisdom one, which was Zafnir, right?
Or at least a servant of Zafnir.
I think we met
Zafnir.
Zafnir? Zafnir. Thank you. No, because the servant went to the forest, and I believe who he was talking to was Zafnir.
Gart? You talking about the dude we met?
Yeah, it's the bird thing.
Yeah, he at least introduced himself as a servant of Zafnir.
Yeah, then the big bird that he was talking to, the big bird creature thing that he was talking to that was kind of in the shadow, that was Zafnir.
Oh my god, why am I blanking on that?
It's purple and has wings. It's kind of like a sage. It kind of talks like a sage.
Okay. Crap. I can't believe I'm blanking on that. Even on a rewatch.
And so Lance can figure out who exactly I'm talking about. I feel like now is probably a good time to take a break. And because, we have to throw in some stuff for the podcast. And then when we come back, we will talk about the rest of the Dark Beasts.
Hey everyone, just taking a moment to tell you guys about our other podcast, D&D News. Follow us on our shenanigans as we try to save Earth from some monstrous priests. Find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just search D&D Noobs, that's Noobz. And now back to our episode.
Welcome back from our break. Let's get into the last Dark Beast that we know about, and that is Bourbon. They say it's with a B, so sure, I'll go with that one. I'll be honest, the only thing we really know about him is he took over Drell's body, kind of gave him power and the sword, and Clevatess basically told him to go fuck himself when he was like, you're making a big mistake or something along those lines. And he killed like the lizard thing. And that's the only thing we really know about him.
Yeah, trying to look into him a little bit. Google isn't even showing me much. All we know is that he's considered the strongest. I don't know if they're saying he's the strongest because he's one of the 4 who are the strongest, but he also lives to the north in the snowy region.
Okay, I wonder if Alicia's father ran into one of his disciples or something, like one of his creatures, and that's the dragon that he ran into.
Oh, which made the sword so powerful to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that battle was in the snow.
That battle was in the snow. He went to the north.
Interesting.
I'd be curious if I doubt in the next season we see anything, but if depending on how long the story goes on, which I can't imagine we won't find more information about him, but it might be a while, that is when that's how we figure out, oh, hey, this was my second in command, and that's who Alicia's father killed.
Interesting. I like the idea of that.
Yeah. And then that would make sense as to why the sword had the dark ether in it, which ended up... Would you say it corrupted Drell? Or do you think that he let it manipulate him?
Ooh, that's a good question. I almost want to say that he let it corrupt him. Like, he was striving for power.
Yep.
So he gave in to everything that it was offering.
Yep.
So he was just an easy target.
I like that. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. I would agree. I think he let it manipulate him to turn him evil, to allow him to be evil. And
right, like go back to like basic instincts of like power and taking over, and then
yep.
Yeah.
I'd like that. I think that's what it was. And then the last thing we know is that he essentially disposed of Drell because he said something along the lines of, or we heard something along the lines of, you're no longer useful. I'm drawing a blank on it, what exactly was said, but there was something mentioned that Drell was no longer needed after the sword was broken. And I'm thinking that's when the connection between the two of them was cracked or destroyed, and he just kind of tossed him to the side.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think there's any more we really know about. I'm going to guess that he's some sort of fire creature, just because I thought of the creature that Clen destroyed was like a salamander, and obviously salamanders are generally correlated with fire. So
yeah, especially when it comes to anime.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you want to talk about as far as Bourbon?
No, I kind of almost want to say, like, if we're going to, I don't want to say we're going to have like a storyline revolving around the 4 beasts and one of them is going to be the sole survivor, but I do imagine that we will run into him again and we will have to kill him. Out of all 4 beasts, I think he's going to be the one that will end up dying.
Okay. I want to agree with you. My hesitation is that there's one dark beast we don't know about.
Yeah, very true.
That is Laswell. Again, we don't know anything about him, so I'm not going to go into what it is. And So I am hesitant, but it does seem like Bordell is the one that seems to hate humans the most. So I feel like that is going to be the creature or the dark beast that it stops or attempts to stop Clen from doing whatever he wants to do.
Right. Yeah, because their original goal was basically a line where they didn't give two shits about humans.
Yep.
So that's why Clen was walking away to begin with. She's like, well, I don't care anyway.
Yep.
But his goal is to learn and observe, and what I'm going to assume is ultimately like lead and control the humans so that they can be all under his control. So he can have his southern domain and all of the humans, which will make like his kingdom that much more powerful, which will just make him just, number one.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm very curious. Because we don't know anything about the last one, I'm just very curious on what the last one is, because we know that Zephyr, yes, doesn't really care about humans as long as it doesn't bother it won't go after the humans.
I agree. I also see a partnership happening in the future because we've met Gart, and I can just see like, hey, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine in a kind of way.
Yeah.
I could just see just some form of partnership.
I keep just kind of thinking of him as like a great sage, where he just wants to get all of the knowledge of the world. And so as long as he can continue to get knowledge, nothing really affects him. He is going to continue to be interested in the human race, and that's going to be the end of it. Like, it's just curiosity, and that's as far as it goes.
Right. I will say I Google imaged Zephyr, and one of the pictures is kind of showing a woman. So I think Zephyr is a woman.
Okay. Sure.
I see boobs. So
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
But yeah, Zephyr is just going to be interesting. I think she's going to be very strategic, tit for tat.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. I am curious if he or she is going to be the one that kind of tells Clen about the Book of Toa.
Ooh.
Just because, again, the whole sage thing, I feel like she has some information that we want.
Yep. I will totally be on board with that one. Makes complete sense.
Awesome. I know I had already talked about one of my favorite moments. Did you have a favorite moment?
I guess one of my favorite moments is going to go back to Alicia's weapon, the stream splitter.
Okay, so yeah, the one she got.
I think the stream splitter is a pretty OP weapon, especially if you want to like relate it to like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you can control water. And then where this moment came to me was when Clen gave back the stream splitter during the bug battle. And then Clen's like, just think of everybody as water because that's what everybody's made out of. And then when they were overloaded with all these bugs, Alicia just rips them all apart with the stream splitter.
Yeah, then the craziest thing is like they were all like connected. Like it just flew. It was a flow of stream from one to the next.
Right.
Which was insane. That was so insane.
So yeah, that moment just really sticks with me because, like I said, Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think waterbenders are kind of like the most powerful if you can do blood bending. So that makes me think, if everything's made of water and then you can swipe horizontally or vertically, whatever, with the power of the sword, why wouldn't you be able to break through anybody?
Yeah, I can see that. That's super insane, but yeah. Yep, exactly. Oh, man. Yeah, that sword was super crazy.
And I like the idea that all these swords need like some form of a way to level itself up. So the stream splitter only became as powerful as it is now because it like sat in water for like what, 200, 300 years or something like that.
Is that what happened?
Oh, wait. Maybe it was like 20, 30 years.
Well, no, I thought you just had to kill a powerful creature and it became like imbued with the creature. Essentially, it became the essence of the creature.
Yeah, I want to say yes and no. One, like we saw that with Drell's weapon killing the dragon. That's what made that one so powerful. But the stream splitter sat in water for so many years. And I think that's what made that weapon so much extra powerful, is because it just absorbed water. It just sat in water for so long. That's how I took it.
Oh, Okay, no, I did not take it like that, but you could be correct. I took it as it just was in the water and it was in the water. I thought it was just powerful because it was in water, because it did kill a powerful water creature, and so that's why it became powerful, just like the sword.
Yeah. I just feel like because it was in the water for so long, that's what made it extra powerful.
Fair. I can understand that. I don't know. I just feel like this series isn't that deep, that I just take it as surface level.
Yeah, that's fair too. Which we can go back and question the original 13 regalia. Like,
yes.
If all of what did those kill to make those powerful, or even going back to Ice Spear Boy, how did his power come to be?
Well, I guess, did the 13 regalia like kill anything?
Yeah, because it almost seems like they were just given their weapons and then sent on their merry way, and then we all know their end.
Yeah, they were given these regalia sent to try and kill Clevatess. Obviously, didn't kill Clevatess, and yeah, I don't think they killed anything.
I would also like to see these swords come back. We know of their general location, and like I was saying earlier with Clevatess making the possibility of creating an army of powerful weapons, you can at least start the first army with those 13.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit of a no, because they had to have killed something,
right?
Because remember, at least in the anime, you see them killing dark creatures. They wouldn't have wanted to kill dark creatures unless they had already been imbued with some sort of strength from a dark creature.
Right.
Unless that's just a plot hole, and we're going to anime logic it and say that it couldn't imbued itself with anything weaker than because that can't work either, because they already talked about how they said the first creature it kills will pull in its power. Or that's how powerful it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, we could have, much like the manga started with that battle, we can just assume that they killed something relatively strong, and we can just go off of that.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a plot hole, and that's gonna be what it is. And yeah, then that's all I can say. I am very curious about the Ice Boy and what it killed and how it got its ice powers, because that's the only regalia that we saw that didn't have, or that had a special ability that we don't know where it came from.
Right. Yep. So we got a handful of things to at least look forward to, and that's not even to say that we know of all the regalia. There could be a handful more out there.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot. I would assume that they've been forging regalias for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Right. Yeah, I think Drell made a comment that like the war has been going on for essentially tens of thousands of years.
1,000 years.
Right. That's what I was going to say, like 1,000 years.
Well,
but
yeah.
We've been doing this thing. We've been doing this same battle for 1,000 years. No, probably tens of thousands of years. But maybe the regalia was only...
The regalia has only been around since these dark creatures have been around.
Right. So maybe it's a little bit more recent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Well, even with that, it brings into question, we have the regalia, but we also have that pink-haired girl who has the levitation or the magnetism stuff. So, like, there's other ways to make weapons.
Well, there's magic.
I suppose that would be considered magic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she has magic.
Yeah, so what is her explanation? Because she was talking about, like, the tortoises from some other place.
Nae, I think is her name.
Something like that.
It's Naie.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to her name, more or less than her powers were pretty cool.
Well, I think they only said her name like once, maybe twice.
Right.
It'd be kind of hard to. Yeah, she's called a High Wizard, and it would be very interesting.
So yeah, I guess I would like to see more characters with abilities parallel to like what she's doing.
Well, it's interesting. Well, so we saw 2 different pieces of magic. We saw, I guess technically 3. We saw the one that can control the troll. We saw Nye's magnetism, and then we also saw Bug Boy,
Right.
Maynard's bug ability, I guess is what you'd call it. He controls bugs. I don't know what else but that's definitely magic.
To some form. I would like a better explanation on this other than just like, they call it magic, but for me, it seems like just manipulating matter of some sort. Because the first instance of magic that we got with the invisibility, it kind of seemed like he just took something that already existed and then just scienced it and then just used it himself.
Yes.
And then he called that magic.
I mean, if you really want to get into it, that's how all magic is. Like, magic is just the manipulation of, you can't say all, but a lot of magic in a lot of shows, it's just the manipulation of natural resources or like the human world.
Yeah, that's fair. It'd be the difference between manipulating stuff and like spellcasting. There's definitely no spellcasting going on here outside of the Dark Beast.
Correct. And then, yeah, magic is all just reusing earthly resources.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it's ultimately going to come down to.
Yeah, which would make a lot of sense because, we have magnetism, which is obviously normal. The manipulation of bugs, which isn't super common of an ability, but it's not super, like, it's not infeasible. So just kind of curious what other magical abilities that we have in the world.
So yeah, that makes me just more curious about like even what season 2 is going to be about, because Clen wants to teach magic basically as he learns it himself. He just wants to stay close to the, young king.
Correct. I'm very curious how that's going to work because he can't learn he doesn't know magic. So how is he going to teach magic?
Right. It's just going to be him learning it himself. And then he's got the benefit of the king being a baby. So he's got time.
That's fair. Luna, what's the...
I have all the names written down.
Okay.
So in episode 11, the Headless King gave the introduction that Luna has 2 other names. Oh crap, I think it's Hydius the Sixth and his true name of Toth, Toth.
Sure. Yep.
But nobody truly knows that his name is Toth because he was never thrown into the Forge.
Correct.
Which could beg the question, do you think he's going to go into the Forge and be reborn as the king?
No, because the Forge is now the Book of Toa.
Ah.
So the Forge is, to me, the Forge is gone.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. That's as far as I'm going with that one. So there's those 2, and then I think he gets called another name, doesn't he? By his mom? I could be wrong. Nellaru? Or no, that's not. I could have. Yeah, I don't know.
Mom said like Hydius or whatever the 6th.
Oh, okay. That's what Mom says.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I missed that. So sure. Yep. The last thing I want to talk about before we go is expectations as far as season 2.
Right. What are you thinking?
I'd be very curious if I kind of got spoiled on something. So I don't want to talk about it, but it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, well, at least what were your initial thoughts then?
I was thinking of Clen learning magic, something revolving around magic, but the spoil that I just saw makes way too much sense. So I'm going to let you give your thought process. I'm going to kind of spoil what potentially could be in season 2, just because when I talk about it, it is potentially going to spoil something, but it's also going to be like, oh yeah, fuck, of course, that's probably what's going to happen.
Okay.
So
to summarize everything that I've said already throughout the course of the episode, I would imagine that Clen is going to spend the next 10, 15 years while the young king is still a baby, absorbing as much information about human magic as possible to learn it for himself as he learns to decipher this Book of Toa.
Okay. So that means he figures out how to open it.
Right. I would imagine
Okay.
Because 15-year-olds seems to be the average age for anime protagonists.
Yes.
So we have a big chunk of time for him to learn all this stuff. At the same time, he's going to casually be raising this kid himself. I also think he's going to be making comrades with Zephyr to a degree. Maybe not so much Zephyr herself, but maybe more so with Gart, and make some kind of plan or whatever. I think we're gonna find out that VB Bourdain is going to be much more of a nuisance than we come to know him as. I think he's just going to be that, or obviously we have to learn about the fourth beast. Either one of those two are going to be the big baddies that is going to be the biggest obstacle to get over for.
That's going to be the climax point for season 2. Okay.
Right. But yeah, just for season 2, I think we're going to we're going to go through a lot of time skipping. And then we're going to see it's going to turn into a school anime for a little bit while Clevatess plans something against another dark beast.
Okay. I like that.
Summarizing, basically.
I like that.
What about you?
What I got spoiled on was time skip. So, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It just makes a lot of sense because Clen / Luna is going to be the focal point. Luna, the baby, does nothing. So how do we get to Luna no longer being a baby? Well, we have a time skip. I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly. Fuck, of course.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think just the relationship between Clen and Luna / the Haydn family is going to get stronger, and he's going to ingrain himself in more than just Luna while also learning magic. And I feel like that's really going to be it. I do like your thought process of Bourdain just kind of a nuisance. He's going to keep coming around, being annoying, try to disrupt things. And Clen is going to stop some things and not really care about other things. I feel like Clevatess / Clen just cares enough that as long as it doesn't directly interfere with him, he doesn't care.
Right.
So I feel like all these creatures play the long game and they don't care about some kind of minute stuff that's happening in the background.
Right. I assume to keep some form of tension, there will be some kind of small war.
Okay. Yeah, maybe some of the other creatures have a war with each other.
Right. But I don't think it's going to be as dramatic.
No, I don't think so.
I think this will be your typical season 2 where it's just going to be a lot of buildup and getting ready for some kind of finale.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I don't know how long the series is going to be. Obviously, we don't have a lot of context as far as how much further we can go. I'm very curious. It might be one of those things where this is going to be like 75 chapters, 100 chapters, and there's just 3 seasons worth of material, and that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But we never know.
No, absolutely. It'll be good. I'm very curious about season 2. I know when it comes, when it hasn't been announced, obviously. It hasn't been announced, so obviously we can't be like, oh yeah, in 2027 we get to find out more information, because that's just not going to be how it goes.
Right. I'd be surprised if season 2 isn't around in 27.
Yeah, I can give you that one. Or it's going to be one of those, we never get a season 2.
Yeah, right.
I hope not, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, you never know. They're like Chainsaw Man, such a hot anime, and we're still waiting for a season 2.
Yeah, it was super hyped, and it just didn't do as good as producers were, or the production companies were hoping.
Right.
So that sucks. But hopefully we get a season 2, especially with the Rize movie doing how it did.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Before we go, Lantz likes to stump me with Pokemon quiz, which recently haven't been doing too bad, but that is all pure luck, because I bet you he went with really hard questions to make up for my success.
All right. So we're going to jump into Generation 1 questions. And Matt does not have a partner today to help him with...
Oh, there's a true-false question?
Nah. Oh, you know what? I should have done a true-false question today. Damn it. What was I thinking? Anyway, I don't think all of these are too hard.
Okay.
So question number 1. How many arms / legs does Beedrill have?
6.
You know 6?
Yes.
All right. You are wrong.
Shit.
The correct answer is 4. He does just have arms and legs.
Sure. I was thinking of like a regular... No, regular bees have 4. What? I'm an idiot. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, do they? I don't even know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a regular bee only has 4.
Okay, well...
Because, that would make sense. If it's based off of a bee, it would have the similar quotes, similar anatomy as far as like basic things. So,
Yeah, right. Well, that's what it is.
yeah.
4, the 2 stingers for arms and 2 legs, and that's all it is.
Yeah, sure.
All right, question number 2. What color are Hitmonchan's gloves?
Red?
Final answer?
Yes.
All right, you're correct.
Yes. Okay, cool. I got one.
Hitmonchan's gloves are red.
Which you'd only know that from the anime, because obviously the Gen 1.
It's basically black and white. Yeah.
But I remember my guidebook having all the sprite color, or having all the characters in color and stuff.
Yeah. For fun, shiny Hitmonchan, his gloves are blue.
Yep. Okay.
So you just swap them. All right, question number 3. What level does Oddish evolve?
I want to say 16.
Okay, 16 is wrong. You
Okay.
do one more guess, and it is higher.
Let's go with 20.
20?
Yep.
Okay, very close. The correct answer is 21.
Oh, so close. So close.
Yep.
I do know to get it to go into Vileplume, you need a leaf stone.
Correct.
So I do know that one. I remember that one. I remember the important one, let's be honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I would have got that wrong too. I would have guessed Oddish evolved at like 18.
Yeah.
Or 20 would have been another solid answer too. But yeah, it's randomly 21.
Interesting. Okay. Does Vileplume know Solar Beam? Because if you remember, like, Pikachu could only learn Thunder. So if you wanted a Raichu that knew Thunder, you had to wait until it learned Thunder, or until Pikachu learned Thunder. Just like Vulpix could only learn, I think it was Flamethrower, so you had to wait until it learned Flamethrower. So was it one of those bullshit things too?
I think most of that of what you're saying is correct. Pikachu will learn Thunderbolt and Thunder, but if you evolve into a Raichu, I think early game,
Yeah.
like early generations, Raichu never learned Thunderbolt.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I thought it was.
But when it comes to Vulpix, I think there was that discrepancy. For whatever reason, I want to say like level 35. Vulpix learned Flamethrower at 35, and Ninetales learned Fire Blast at 35. Something like that. That's what my memory's telling me.
Okay.
But as far as Solar Beam goes, I think that's just a signature move. I think both Gloom and Vileplume will learn that no matter what.
Okay.
Without looking into it, I think that's how that one played out.
Yeah, because I remember all of the like evolution Pokemon. I would always save until I got like a special, like its special attack before I would evolve it, which was super annoying. It was super annoying.
Yeah, and it's not like that today.
No, I mean the game is so. I don't want to say it's watered down, but they've made half of the challenge. They've made it more about collecting the Pokemon and getting shinies than about trying to level up and train and do all these other things.
Oh, for sure. There's no longer these little things that might screw you over. Now they're just going to make sure that everybody can learn everything, especially with like ZA and like Arceus, where you can go to a Pokemon, he can be at level 75, and then you can rearrange all of his attacks based off of everything that he should have previously learned, and then you can just mix and match however you want. So you don't have to worry about losing out on things. And then of course, what was it, like Generation 5 or so allowed you to use TMs unlimited times, which was the best idea ever, because it was so goddamn annoying to only teach one TM to one Pokemon.
Yeah, I almost never taught any of them any TMs.
Right.
Because I would hoard the crap out of them and be like, what if this one Pokemon I want to have it? I need this. And then I would just never teach any of the Pokemon any of them.
If you were going to be like strategic about stuff, you'd have to be like, okay, well, this Pokemon will learn Thunderbolt at this level, so I'm not going to use my TM on him. I'm just going to grind him out, and I'll use Thunderbolt on someone else who doesn't naturally learn it.
Yeah,
and that's the smart way of playing the long run.
Yeah, like teaching Vulpix Fire Blast.
Yeah.
Or teaching, Vulpix not Fire Blast after it learned Flamethrower, so then you could have both of the special moves on one Pokemon, and then you could evolve it.
Right.
And yeah, because I remember you got Fire Blast from Blaine when you beat him.
Ooh, I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah, because his Magmar used it. And
Ooh.
oh yeah, he didn't have a Magmar.
No,
That's right.
Yep, that was a
question. His Vulpix had it. Or his Ninetales had it. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was his. Pretty sure that was his signature move.
Yep.
Yeah, for all you listeners out there, we did a Pokemon question or a Pokemon quiz in the past, and it turns out that all of the OG Blaines did not have a Magmar. It was only, I think, Yellow. No, not even Yellow. I think it was Leaf.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Oh,
where
maybe.
he had a Magmar.
Yeah, probably.
It was strictly based off of the anime, off of that one.
Yep. Yeah, because I don't know. We'd have to look at Yellow specifically, but I don't remember. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but I do remember being very surprised that Blaine did not have Magmar as part of his OG setup. But all right, that is going to conclude our conversation for Clevatess. Thank you everybody for listening this far. Please make sure to give us a follow on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Also, if you are interested in more anime news, please follow the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. And if you would be so nice to follow our other side podcast, D&D Noobs, you can follow our shenanigans over there. That's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And until next time, we'll see you then.